Do you recognize this white substance on the wall? This is called efflorescence, and it is a telltale sign that you have water in your block, in your basement or crawl space. If you see this, we need to correct the problem. If you leave this unattended for too long, you run the risk of termites. Not to mention water damage to the sill plate and other things, but termites, wow, is that going to be costly. Take a look, learn how to do this yourself, and truly save thousands of dollars.
Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're doing some crawl space basement waterproofing on a house. And you can kind of see this house has a big slope that comes down, and they have what's called a walkout basement. That means that the third level, the lower level, is finished and it walks out. They've got a deck back here. Really nice piece of property. You can see how steep this drops off way down the hill. So basically we have to bring all of our tools inside the living area, and you can see we've got some black plastic down to keep our tracks to a minimum. We come through their finished area into the crawl space, which has lots of headroom, so pretty easy to work in. Hard job, but pretty easy to work in. And basically we're doing the same thing we would do in a small crawl space or in any basement. It makes no difference at all. If you can see this wall, let me turn on a light so you can see it a little bit better. You'll notice it has lots of efflorescence. That's this stuff right here. You can see it's just like a powder. It just drops off the wall like snowflakes. And what we've got to do is dig a footer tile. That's the tile, perimeter tile, runs around the inside of the crawl space or the basement, either one. And over here, we're going to put a sump pump and a sump pit, lift the water up, and come right out through the wall, typical discharge, and then we're going to tie it into a downspout drain to pick up both downspout drains on the side of the house. So again, pretty straightforward job. Take a little bit to do, but something the homeowner could do themselves. It's just a lot of labor. So out here on the outside of the house, what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and hook up his downspout drains. He's got one here that's under the deck. It's going to come out. It'll have a T on it here. Pick up this one and the one at the front. And you can see we've got dramatic discharge. We're going to send it down to a pop-up somewhere down about by that retaining wall, in his yard. And utilities have been marked. We're also going to tie his air conditioner, his condensation line. You can see it's got a drip, drip, drip coming off of it. Summertime, a lot of water. We're going to core through the wall, bring our discharge 1.5 inch pipe over, tie into our pipe right here. We're also going to hook up a broken downspout drain that he's got going on here from the front. So a lot of little things, but pretty straightforward. Again, couple day job. Got a couple guys out here. Won't take us that long to do. A lot of walking up the hill. So we're making good progress. You can kind of see, got our footer tile, our footer trench dug around the perimeter of the wall. We're going to take this excess and just grade it out across the floor here. Then we're going to bring gravel in by the bag because we're inside of a finished area. We don't want to make any mess in here at all. So we'll use gravel by the bag and we'll lay a base of gravel, perforated pipe. That's all going to come over here, right down here, where I'm going to put the sump pit. So digging in a crawl space with this much room is actually pretty nice. Granted, there's a lot of crap down in the ground, rocks, overpour, things like that, but wow, we can stand up in here. Kind of like the basement, and I guess they may decide to finish this area as well in the future. Okay, so we've got pretty much the excavation done down here. Let me show you what we got. You can see our sump pit down in the hole down there, and our footer tile, the trench for the footer tile, it runs all the way around the perimeter of the crawl space. And you can see it goes over, we're going to tie into an existing footer tile on the other side. And what we're trying to do is relieve the water pressure. You can see all that efflorescence and water in the block. Efflorescence means that there's water in the block. So we want to get that water out of there, send it over to the sump pit, right over there, lift it up, pump it out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and core drill through this, brick through the block. And the way we found this measurement is if you look up here to the vent, I went ahead and measured over, and we came down, and you can kind of see the outline of the block here, right in here. So we're going to go through right here and hope that's the right spot. No, but we want to try to go through the cavity of the block, so that's why I'm trying to get such a perfect alignment. So hopefully that went right through the cavity. Remember that blocks are hollow, so we want to make sure, and you can see I didn't hit any of the support of the block. And it goes right through the crawl space. Nice hole, looks like we lined up well. We'll get a piece of 1.5 pipe and slide it through here and make sure it works good. So let's see if we can slide our 1.5 through that hole, line up with the other hole. Oh yeah, nice, went right through. So we can push some inside and we'll cut off what we need to use to plumb the sump pump on the inside. So you can see our 1.5 PVC where we cored right through the block, and it lines up perfectly. We're square right on top of, in the center of, our sump basin, which is perfect because we're going to bring our pipe up from the sump pump, up and tie into this pipe. So let's go ahead and set up that sump pump. Today we're using a Liberty sump pump. This is model number 257, and we've used this a few times before. They save energy and they pump equal to the Zoller M53. So they both have 3-year warranties. They both pump about 40 to 60 gallons a minute. You could see a video where I tested the two against each other. They were exactly the same with a 10-foot head, rising 10 feet from the pump, lifting that water 10 feet. They pumped exactly 57 or something like that, 50 gallons a minute. So they work really good. So next we're going to set our Liberty 257 down in the pit. And we're going to make a measurement from the check valve all the way up to the discharge pipe right here. Sorry, light. To the discharge pipe. Put a 90 on it, and then we'll put the lid together on it. We'll glue it all up, and this portion of this job is done. So we drilled a hole in our lid for the riser and for the electric line. So we've made the measurement for our riser. I'm going to pull the pump back out and secure it onto the no-hub real quick. Using our handy dandy drill. Just as tight as that drill will make it. Then we can set the pump back down in the pit. Whoops. Just so you can see, we've got a nice Liberty pump. We've got our check valve installed and our riser coming up. Now we're going to connect to our 1.5 pipe up here at the top and glue all that together. So let's go ahead and put our lid on and bring our power cord up through our hole. Pull that through. Put your lid on. line this up to where it's going to be perfectly coming up through there. Looks real good. Let's go ahead and glue that up.
So if you're new to our videos, you really need to take a look. You know, I really try to show the DIYer, the do-it-yourselfer, how to solve these problems themselves and save thousands of dollars. Yes, you can call us or another company, but you will spend $10,000 to $25,000 to solve this problem. If you can do it yourself, you will truly save so much money. If you need help with your project, sign up online. Try our live help. It's only $60 per session. We use Zoom as our media, and we can answer any question that you have, help with project planning, and so much more.
Bring our perforated pipe in and cover the rest with gravel. So we're bringing in our perforated pipe. We're just going to bring it all inside and unroll it inside the crawl space. Or maybe right inside the area here if it doesn't fit through that door. And you see all the gravel we brought in by the bag, we just stacked it up right here. Now we're going to go ahead and cut this open. And then we'll unroll it into our trench. This is slotted pipe. It has holes all the way around it. We're going to put a small base of gravel down underneath, and then we'll cover it with the rest of the gravel. So we've got a little slice in the pipe. We're going to pinch it together and slide it into the hole in the side of the sump pit. You can see the hole into the pit. We just slide it right inside, and it fits real tight. Perfect. Now we're just going to cover up this trench with gravel by the bag. We're going to go all the way around, and it should work really good. We just bring the gravel back to grade. You're right across the top of that pipe. Comes right down and ties into the sump pit, which we'll surround by gravel when we're all done moving this gravel around. So we've got our gravel installed all the way around, and we've got some dirt to move. We're going to do that next. But for today, we did quite a bit. Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Day 2 on this basement crawl space interior waterproofing job. It's a little before 7, and we've already trenched our main trench coming down through here. And we're going to come back and we're going to go ahead and hook up these 2 downspouts. We have to hand dig that because you can see there's a gas line right there, so we can't trench across that. Of course, we're going to hook up our sump pump from the crawl space. That's going to go down underground, coming over and tie in here as well. We're also going to hook up that AC condensation line because it's really wet there. I mean, it's just dripping away. You probably can't see it on the camera, but really wet. Those things really put out a lot of water in the summertime. Hook up another downspout here, comes over to our main trench, and of course one over there. And we're just going to discharge right down here with a pop-up emitter. Probably just use a grate, let that water run down the hill. So in here in the crawl space, these guys are taking out some soil. We had quite a bit of excess soil. We're going to take a couple wheelbarrows out and grade that off inside. They're just putting in buckets, bringing it out so we don't make a mess. Pretty hard for them to take it down the hill, so they can't get it too heavy. That hill is really steep. Okay, so we've got everything installed. You can take a look here. Basically we hooked up and repaired the downspout that came through the retaining wall. Hooked up a new downspout with a T down here. The line comes out, goes through. It picks up the sump pump right there. It also picks up the AC condensation line and the 2 downspouts in the back. And then it goes on down and discharges right down here at a pop-up. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.